Hey everyone, Mike from Provision again. So what's the topic for today? Well, the topic is a question that I get from clients all the time actually, and that is, you know what, we make enough money, why is it that we need to work from a budget? I love the question, thank you for asking. Okay, so it actually comes down to because you need to plan. So let's go through a couple examples. If you've ever attempted to go on a diet, right? Or you want to plan a vacation, or let's say you got to cram for a big test. You got a year's worth of information that you need to go through and review. What is it that you do? Right? You kind of map everything out and you decide what is it that you need to do and put together a blueprint, if you will. A budget's really no different. Okay, one of the things that you have to identify, you got to ask yourself certain questions to make sure that you can come up with the answers that you need to make a decision on. So for example, let's go through and say, if you don't, I'll word it this way, if you don't operate from a budget, one of the first questions I would ask you is, what exactly is the net income that you have coming in on the house, after coming into the house on a monthly basis? So once you take out your taxes and so on and so forth, what's the net amount that comes in the house on a monthly basis? Okay, so now you know that answer, or the answer to that question. So then, well, what is it that you spend money on? What is it that maintains the standard of living that you're comfortable with it? And I don't mean, groceries, just the fixed expenses. I mean everything. You go out for entertainment, you go out, the money that you spend for just everything. What does it cost you to live the life that you're living right now, or what we refer to as your standard of living? If you don't work from a budget, you don't really know that. So I think it's really important that you do break that down, because ultimately then you can take, this is what we bring home, this is what we spend, and guess what? When you do the math, what's remaining is what we refer to as discretionary income. Why is that important? Why is it that we need to know what that is? Well, again, let's look a little bit into the future. Ask yourself this question: when is it that you want to see yourself retire? When is it that you're done? You said, you know what, I'm X age here and I want to make sure that I can retire at this point. Okay, so we know what age you want to retire. You look at, well, what is it that, what the standard of living that you are at right now, what's that going to cost inflated out? What's that going to cost when you want to retire? Now you got to ask yourself, okay, I need X amount of money to live on in retirement. What are the fixed incomes that you're going to have coming in? Are you going to have a pension available to you? What about Social Security? You think that's going to be there? All right, let's assume that you have both. So if you add those two together, do you think those incomes will be enough to maintain the standard of living that you come accustomed to? Okay, if not, then you need to build up some more money, don't you? So you need to identify what the shortfall is on a monthly basis, but also what the lump sum amount is that you would need in order to draw from as a supplement in retirement years. You see where I'm going with all this? Okay, so now if you know what that lump sum is, we've got to work that backwards. And we've got to say, what is the dollar amount that you need to put away every month between now and retirement in order to build up that lump sum that we talked about? But if we don't know what our discretionary income is, how do we know if we can afford to do that or not? You see how this is all coming together? But you see, a lot of times people look at a budget in a negative way. They're like, but a budget is just horrible because it makes you tighten your belt so much that you can't have any fun. No, actually just the opposite. If you know what the income is that you're bringing in on a monthly basis, you know what your core expenses are, therefore you know what's discretionary, you're able to put the dollars away on a monthly basis that you need to accomplish that retirement goal or whatever goal it is that you have. The rest is yours to do whatever it is that you want to do with. Now, it's a separate subject as far as what's the best thing to do and so on and so forth. But my point is, a budget isn't a negative thing. It's actually, it provides for freedom. So discretionary income is determined based on knowing exactly what your income is that's coming in minus what your expenses are. What you do with that discretionary income, it's important to understand what that amount is so that you can determine what your retirement goals are, college planning, the second home, vacation home, anything along that line. So hope that makes sense to you. Until next time, see you then.